It's time for another tier list video. That's right, today is Unmatched Tier List Friday. But what is this going to be a tier list about? There are so many different things that we could talk about, but I am going to rank the art. That's right, we're going to rank the artwork for each of the fighters. Now, the characters I'm going to do are all of the characters up to the Houdini versus Genie set. There's one I'm not going to rank, and I'm just going to go ahead and get it out of here right away and show you why I am not ranking this one. And the one that I am not going to rank based off of artwork is Deadpool. And that's because Deadpool's artwork is just, it's insane. Okay, I mean, it's made to look like it was just pieced together from whatever Wade had lying around his house. Yeah, this is just crazy. So I just can't rank Deadpool against anybody else. Sorry guys, it's just, he's just too weird. So anyway, now that I've got Deadpool out of the way over here, we'll go ahead and start with our actual tier maker. Well, the first one we are going to do, which is going to be my least favorite artwork in all of Unmatched, and that is going to be Luke Cage. Big issue with it is that now the card back is fine. That actually kind of looks pretty cool, you know, the fist punching through. But all this here, I mean, Sweet Christmas is pretty good, but a lot of it just looks kind of like it came out of comic panels. Not that excited about it. I don't know, that one, that's one of the exceptions there. This one looks like it came out of Bruce Lee's stuff. But most of it's not that great. This may possibly be the worst miniature in Unmatched now. I mean, just leaving off the beard. All right, so after Luke Cage, we'll get to my next one, which I think I don't much care for, and that is going to be Dracula. Well, I know a lot of you do love the Dracula artwork, but in general, I'm not a fan of the Cobble and Fog artwork. But I get what's going on with having, you know, the black and white with the just the red highlights over it there. But it's just kind of, and I find most of Dracula stuff not, I don't know, it just doesn't excite me that much. I really don't particularly care for the door knocker thing that we've got going on here. The mini is pretty good for Drac. He's not bad. The sisters, oh man, I don't want to start this argument up here. Yeah, I do not care for the Cobble and Fog art all that much. Let's talk about Sherlock. Okay, once again, we got the weird door knocker thing on there. At least this kind of has a little bit of an actual address on it, which makes sense for Sherlock. They did well on these. I kind of like that they gave you know, Watson some medical stuff and the gun. He's got a gun. That's exactly like the pose that Sherlock should be in. It's again, it's not that, I don't know, this just doesn't really, this artwork just doesn't really excite me, guys. Man, I hate to be like going down on a really popular set's artwork here. All right, so who is next on here? We're gonna go with Angel. Okay, so Angel, I mean, he does have some stuff going for him here. He's got the purple and yellow color scheme, and purple and yellow are kind of opposites of each other on the color wheel, so they complement well. Kind of Angel, sword always kind of gets curved, but you know, the artwork itself, most of it is, you know, I mean, that's like definitely a bottom rung feint there. And you know, you get some stuff there. I mean, like Angelus isn't even all that great. I do really like the shift. Definitely my least favorite of the Buffies. We're gonna move up a tier because I think we're improving a lot as we get to this one. The next one that we're gonna have here is gonna be Medusa. This art isn't bad. It just, you know, we got this pattern in the background on a lot of them, so it's a little crazy. You know, the snake, you know, featured with the wings making the snake. Yeah, that's something. One of the better regroup arts, actually. I'll give her that. But yeah, just doesn't excite me a whole lot. All right, the next one we're gonna go with Jekyll and Hyde. I like the idea of the split things between the two sides, but this is, there's some interesting stuff in it here. You know, we got some that are cool. Like, I like the way that the green is used on this card in particular, on Forever Hyde. But really, for the most part, it's just the black and white with like the green stuck on it there, and that just kind of makes a little bland for a lot of these. That's kind of crazy. Not bad. I don't know what you're supposed to do to represent Jekyll and Hyde on a mini. And next, we've got another green fighter. Oh, not a lot of green fighters left. Robin Hood. Robin Hood has a few really exceptional cards and then a lot of just mediocre stuff. The dial is kind of eh. The mini itself is, you know, it's not particularly inspired, but, you know, it's definitely recognizable as Robin Hood. So we do have the green and the red kind of being majors on it, which once again are opposites on the color wheel. You know, we got some stuff that's, you know, some okay stuff. Few pretty decent ones. This one really Defenders. This is one of the cooler ones there with the that one's pretty sweet. Pretty good regroups on this set though. Who do we have here next? Well, we are going to grab Spike. So we've got, you know, the Railroad Spike, which is supposedly where Spike's name came from. I do like the bright colors on this. You know, the blue and the pink are really stand out, especially when they throw some purples in there. But once again, stuff, you know, something's got to be down here at the bottom. And this definitely has like a 90s vibe to it. I mean, definitely does. It's what it is. Like that's a little weird. The faint's kind of strange too. All right, the next one we will go with here, it's going to be the Daredevil. Really think they like over muscled these Marvel minis here, particularly these guys. Okay, you know, you got like little sound wave things coming off. Got that, got the skyscrapers and stuff. Nice stuff, but once again, it's not just, you know, doesn't wow me. And our next one that we go, which will be the last one on this tier. Oh man, I'm gonna have some people like jumping down on me on this one. Okay, there we go. Yep, y'all are like, what? Bullseye. Well, look, there's some funny and clever stuff in there. Target's been shot at here for the thing. Okay, we can have like bullet holes, but we can't like have a gun or something. I don't know. Once again, we just got like this ridiculously overly muscled guys. I mean, it's just like, what? Kind of, this has got like a Ruth Bader Ginsburg look to me. Once you see that, you can't ever unsee it. Okay, you know, he's like throwing darts. I mean, I guess he throws darts. He throws things. It's just, you know, it's a weird feint. This is one of the better ones here. It's him against the chess pieces. See, and it's like, it's funny, but I don't know if it's, you know, all that. That's, you know. All right. Going to the next tier here. I'm gonna start with Little Red Riding Hood. I think she is one of the weaker minis in my opinion. Got the Huntsman here, who I've just named LeBron, because once you see that, you like can't unsee it. I mean, we're getting into pretty good stuff here. We're getting into reds with some greens on it. You know, once again, kind of going with these colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel. Pretty nice stuff in here. You know, some of these are really some top level cards in there. One of the few pre-Marvel cards that just featured the character on it. Next one is going to be Sinbad. Look at this here. We got orange and we got kind of a bluish color. Once again, opposites on the color wheel. Got like the designs that go in the background there. This is used a lot on Sinbad. I mean, it's used there. And it's really nice to see some of the earliest artwork in the game being really solid still. Because a lot of this is still very solid. We'll see some other commanding impacts come along later. And it helps that he's got these voyages so that he can have like separate things for all of them, because a lot of this voyage artwork is pretty trippy. So it's, you know, this one, that's one of my favorites. That just looks great. Next one that we will grab from down here is gonna be the Bigfoot. One of the best minis, besides just the size of it, just the detail on it. Background, which is like instantly, this is great for like Bigfoot there, and the jackalope horns. You know, it's like a mountain. Bigfoot's part of the mountain. It's, there we go, this design again here, except with Bigfoot in the middle of it there. The momentous shift being the foot sticking up. That is great. All right, who do we have up next? That is gonna be Dr. Ellie Sattler. Now, if I was judging just based off of card backs and card backs alone, Dr. Sattler would go way up. You know, the mini's fine. I don't really know what else you would have her do. Dr. Malcolm, that's, you know, very clearly Jeff Goldblum, or, you know, you can, you know, include this Jeff Goldblum. That brings this up several steps there if you include the sexy Goldblum. And the artwork's pretty good. I think the one thing that does knock it down a bit for me, this kind of has like a comic booky cartoon look to it, but I think it's just some really great stuff going on. We just haven't seen this style of art much in Unmatched, and I think it just really stands out and looks a little out of place to me. Very clearly Laura Dern in all these, so I mean it's definitely her. One of the best card arts in all of Unmatched right there. I mean, the sexy Goldblum, you know, I mean, which one is that? Like putting those together, is that too much sexy? Okay, I won't do it. The next one to go on here, well, we're going to go grab our last Cobble and Fog, Invisible Man. All right, so Invisible Man once again has this weird door knocker thing going. The mini itself, this is one of my favorite minis, just the way that they molded it here, where, you know, you can't see the head, but the hat still manages to ride up there. I think they were just able to do some more interesting things with Invisible Man than they were with the other Cobble and Fog characters, and that's what's putting him on here. Just the fact that they could really, you know, do some really clever stuff on here. Although I think the blue really works a lot more sharply than the other colors, so it's also why I kind of like that. I think it complements the black and white a little bit better. This one particularly, there you go, it does show up on camera a little bit. You can kind of see the guy there. This one always makes me think of Metropolis, if you've ever seen that film. You know what scene I'm talking about if you've seen that movie. We are going to grab Buffy. And once again with Buffy, just like the others in her sets, we have just some bright colors. We have the yellow and pinks, and we have really nice colors and really nice artwork coming out of these here. Really nice here. I've always really liked Right Hand Man. And even going into these here, there's just so many of these, just like all the action in them. Like, that's a great one there. It's probably one of the weaker ones in it. So who do we have next? Well, let's go back to that first set and grab King Arthur. I don't know it particularly stands out as being Arthur, but you know, it's all right. As you can see, there's a lot of subtle little detail that pops up here on Arthur's dial. This is really nice stuff, and we got a lot of reds and blacks and oranges in here. And as you can see, it's something that's common with some of these Volume 1 fighters. Kind of have purple highlights in the versatiles. You know, it stays all red on the attacks. A little bit of yellow hidden in there in the schemes, and some blue in the defense cards. So they're putting the color of the type of card it is in there with it, which is something I really like. It took me a while to notice. This first set really having some very solid art. Right, and who do we have next on here? We're gonna go with Achilles. I I really like that they went with this Greek pottery design on it here. I think it looks really, really sharp. We've got Achilles here looking really nice. Someone pointed out that the one place that he does have exposed, his heel. Yeah, we're jumping into some really great artwork here. We're seeing that it does have the certain colors that stand out in the palette, but they're still willing to throw some others into it, so it's not just limited. So like a lot really still has like a color palette and color scheme that it falls into, but it's like not as limited in color range as you know, the Coblin Fog fighters were there. All right, next on our tier maker, Ghost Rider, one of the great minis in the game. Just all the colors that pop out here. We got this yellows, orange, and bright pinks to pop out with kind of like the black in the background. And the Hellfire tokens themselves all look pretty sharp, and they are. Each of these are unique. These are not just the same. Really, we just have some very bright, very vivid stuff here. It's kind of like the Buffy set that this makes me think of as far as how it uses all these different colors, but they're I think we've got a few more colors thrown in here on this, and it really just makes it pop. There's some, like this one's not one of my favorites. Yeah, there's just some great looking stuff here on Ghost Rider. All right, who is our last one here in the B tier? We're gonna grab Engine. A lot going on this, but just really a lot of detail in there that makes it look nice. Got this here with the you know, the shotgun, the empty shotgun shells there. Once again, you notice we're using orange and blue, which are posing colors on the color wheel again. Muldoon himself, he doesn't have his hat, and that's a little sad. And this, I mean, some amazing artwork there. This is one of my favorite cards. Yeah, just great stuff. Just really loving all the little detail on here, and the color. You know, the colors just really pop nice. I keep saying great stuff, but this really is a very nice set of artwork here on this deck. All right, so who is going to start off the A tier? We're going to go right here with Elektra. Now, I think Elektra definitely has the best mini in all of that set, and you know, the eye on it, that's really nice. I kind of like the gray over it there. I know we don't have as many cards in this deck as some others, but man, I just really love what's going on with these here. A lot of great action there on Whirlwind. You know, just kind of like the sword there just splitting the two halves there. Really thought this one was the best one out of that set, and this is going to be one of the top Marvel fighters here. The next one we're going to go with Bloody Mary, and starting off here, just a completely trippy mini card back. You can kind of see, you know, Mary in there. It's very faint, but she shows up. You got like the streaks on it. This is some of the creepiest artwork. Not some of the creepiest. It's just flat is the creepiest artwork in Unmatched. I mean, they got that kind of horror film vibe. I mean, what is going on with this? Just the blood all over the face and the eyes, and this kaleidoscope madness. Mirror broken, and you see behind it. It's, man, oh yeah, that's like a classic horror film pose there, so might as well have her do that. All right, our next one that we're gonna get, and that's gonna be Beowulf. One of the things I really like on the card back is that we can see there's, and it's hard to get it to show up on here, there's a little bit of it's kind of like this is a texture to it there. I really like the Wigloff dial there, just with the shield and the flames around it. Just all the detail on the armor and the shield. just real subtle stuff in there that managed to be cast into that. Just really great action in these. Lots of use of the colors there. Just some really sharp stuff here. And who do we have next to grab here? We're gonna grab that Houdini. So I don't have the Houdini versus Genie set here, but I've got some of the card images here so you can take a look at these. We've got, you know, dark green and some reds in there once again. Colors on opposite ends of the color spectrum. Again, they're on the color wheel, so they complement each other well. We can see that this design here that's on that shows up on Houdini's suit and some other places there. We have a lot of emphasis on hands in this set, both with Houdini and Genie. See on the card back, you know, that one hand is Houdini and the top one is Bess. Here they managed to get a lot of the styling from the era in it there, particularly in like the clothing on both Houdini and Bess. I'm really looking forward to see what this is going to look like in person and print, because I haven't actually gotten to see this set in person yet. So who goes after Houdini? Well, the next one is going to be that T-Rex. And first of all, the obvious things we got to talk about, just this mini. It's a mini, guys. This is massive. It's just hard to rate this mini against the others because it is just so huge, and the health dial is just ridiculous. But I love all the art that they put in this here, the ripples in the footprint there, the plants on it. I think the purple was a very interesting color to go with here. This purple and kind of cream color. Just an interesting choice of color and a very bold color choice, and I do like it. Once again, I think that this set is held a little bit back, in my opinion, by that style of art that they have decided to go with. Makes it, you know, just kind of knocks it down a little bit, because I'd like to see some of these same poses in a different art style. But it is still good art on here nonetheless, just not my favorite style. I am a little disappointed in Momentous Shift. I know they were trying to go with a scene from the movie, but all the Momentous Shifts have always been upward, you know, things on it there. Terrifying Roar being solid. I mean, it's a dinosaur. I mean, you got a dinosaur on it. It's hard to mess up the artwork when you got a dinosaur. Oh yeah. And when you're ripping scenes straight out of the film, I mean, you know, it's just literally like, you know, Spielberg laid this out, so let's go take some, you know, some of that. Hey, our next one on here, Sun Wukong, that monkey guy. The red and yellow is a very bold color choice. We got like this design here, and this, like the detail in the background here. That's some of my favorite stuff on this card back. This is a very, very solid mini. I mean, this is, and the artwork is, you know, pretty solid. You know, we've got these colors in it. Red and yellow is pretty sharp. A little bit of that bluish gray. Some nice stuff here, seeing that done again. Really think this stuff here is pretty sharp, because we are up here, you know, one of the top tiers. So, and next after Wukong, we're gonna go grab the Raptors. Okay, so we got like 3 minis here. I mean, it's almost like not even fair. Twisty, who's here in the kitchen. You can see the tile. Stalky is out here. You know, you got the tire track in the mud. And we have Pouncy here, which is kind of the rock background. Background on the dial here. You know, the tile, the rocks, the mud, and on the back. So they all match each other there. The Raptor there got the leaves, and you can see subtly that kind of little diamond design that they did for some of the early sets is in there. And I think these just top out the T-Rex a little bit on artwork. You know, this Disengage, you know, it looks a lot like, you know, borrows a lot from Bigfoot's Disengage. Just, yeah, like the dinosaurs or the clock. This is just some, really love all of these. Eaten alive, you can see it's, you know, dinosaurs are making up the skull. Yeah, I think that this had some of you know, the puzzles. I like it. I think that they just had some really, you know, the pattern in that. Yeah, I just think that they had really clever stuff. And next, the last of the A tier here, Yaninga. As we see here, blue with a little bit of yellow pairing in it for the artwork. Really like this pattern that they use. Very dynamic pose here. I mean, compare this to like Robin Hood, who's also an archer, and this is just like a much better pose. Really great stuff again. We get like blues, purples with some yellows and oranges in it. I mean, just all the detail on these here, all the stuff in the sky. You know, the streaks there. I mean, the streaks give you like action and suggest motion. Really like this one, that design. It's a very solid momentous shift. Just, yeah, that's what Point Blank should look like. Okay, so we've got our top 5 here. So who is going to be the top 5 out of these? Well, let's start off with Willow in the number 5 spot. Blue and orange, which are exact opposites on the color wheel again. Really like all the detail in that. Pretty basic mini. That's one thing that knocks her down a bit, is that the mini is not all that great. I don't know what else you would do for this character because, you know, great looking stuff. I mean, Resurrect, Revoke, looks like this is like Flayed Alive. That is a great card. Okay, the regroup's a little weird, especially in the face. I don't really see Allison Hannigan there. Not sure what I'm looking at. This one's awesome. Knowledge of the Craft, that is great. Rending Shot. Some nice little details in here if you're familiar with the story that this is addressing here. That really, yeah, I just love the artwork on this one. The next one on the list here is going to be the Genie. Once again, I don't have the actual set here to show you physically Houdini and Genie's cards, but I've got the artwork here that I can show you. Purples and blues and pinks, just, you know, you can see all the vibrant colors in there. As you can tell, the vibrant colors really, those really are a favorite thing of mine, and you're going to see whenever we have those in the artwork, it's going to move up. The Genie's mini, once you get a look at that thing, it is going to be that's a top level mini there. Once again, the hands being a very big thing on this one here. This is just some of the best artwork that we've seen come out, and once again, really looking forward to see this thing, see this artwork in print, actually seeing it printed out, because I bet it's going to look amazing on the cards. Now, pulling up next, we are going to have Moon Knight. This may be my favorite mini. I haven't actually seen Genie like in person yet, so that could change once I see it. But right now, Moon Knight is my favorite. Just having the black background with the white characters and the other details over it, and it just really makes things pop on this. Oh, look at that, we got some hieroglyphs on the back of this thing. But this artwork, just the way that the characters in front of the foreground really just pop. Kind of wonder if this was done like Batman the Animated Series, their backgrounds, which were, they started with a black background and painted on top of it. Although this is probably all done digitally nowadays, but it's still right here, the way that just the white, just the bright white character over that black background, and it just makes this stuff pop here. It's stuff that's pretty much just black and white. This is some amazing artwork. So our number 2 pick will be Bruce Lee. I decided to go ahead and bring the whole box out. He's a solo. This detail on here, going with the oranges, reds, and the browns. The same dragon on it there with just a lot of little details on this here. Instantly recognizable. That is clearly Bruce Lee. The gold base is amazing. It helps that having all these Jeets, that we can have a different artwork on each of the separate Jeets, which is great. We've got kind of this little circle thing here going on each of them that he, like where he makes the contact at. You know, the yin yang in the background, the other symbols. The Jeets all have a little bit more of an orangey color to them than some of the others. But Nunchaku, bring it on. It's great. Hoo-wah. 1-inch punch. Be like water. Just like the water. This is... yeah, this is some great artwork in this one. Another great shift here. That's a great momentous shift. Little Dragon is awesome. Faint is good. The regroup is really solid. I mean, these just really feel and look right. Really disappointing that this has pretty much dried up and turned into unobtainium. So for the ones that have it, yeah, definitely, hey, make sure you don't ever lose this thing, because this is, you know, this is some great stuff here. Our top one is going to be Alice, because as I pointed out earlier, all of the ones that have the really bright colors that stand out, they are going to be some of my favorites. And Alice definitely has that. We've got a really amazing mini here for Alice, you know, with the giant Vorpal blade. She's very recognizable. The Jabberwock mini, it's like he's crawling out of the hole there. The dials, I like the colors on the dials. We got the blue, the purple, the really bright pink on there. Card back, we've got the, you know, the diamond circle design. Got the little wavies all over it here. Really shows up in print. You can kind of, this does show up here on camera. You can see Alice kind of there through the keyhole with the Jabberwock. Clicking stuff. This is another deck that they add the color of the type of card it is. So the versatiles you see will all have purples in them here. The regroup, which is really bright. This is just, I mean, this is just all trippy, which it should be, just trippy and weird. I mean, the source material is just like all kinds of crazy trippy. That's a great shift. Might be my favorite momentous shift. It's hard to get it on here, but on the card you can actually kind of make out like the keyhole and some stuff here on the fist. That's worth like looking at if you've never noticed it. The skirmish, I mean, just look at the way that this warps everywhere there. That is great. Manxum is, yeah, that's great stuff. And now we'll see that instead of having purples in here, we'll have reds mixed in with it here. The Jabberwock's cards, which are great. Some more of the versatiles here for Alice. And we see on the scheme we get a little bit of yellow in there. All the branches and vines. Frabjous Day with the trippy hand. I just feel like I'm on some sort of hallucinogen just looking at these cards, man. This one's Snicker Snack. The other side of the mushroom. And then, of course, Looking Glass, which has blues in it because it's a defense card. It gets the blues with all the little trippy stuff. There's just so much little detail going on in the background of all of Alice's cards. That's just what makes this one my favorite. And it's just hard for me to pick any others above this. I know I'm going back to that original set here, but this is still, I think they just nailed this thing, and we've not ever had anything get better than this right here for a whole complete deck right here for the artwork. This is the best that we have had. So that is all of the Unmatched Fighters artwork, except for this guy, ranked. What do you think of the tier list that I came up with there? I'll show you this tier list again here in case you forgot where I had put everyone. Let me know in the comments what you think. Is there someone that's just like horribly misplaced? Do you think I nailed it? You have your tier list that you want to make and put out there? Well, you can go into Tier Maker and do that. And also, as part of Tier List Friday, we have Baked Goods and Zero Skater 12 who have also made some tier list videos. So make sure you check those out. I'll give you some ways to find those guys. And if you're interested, you could take a look at my channel and subscribe there to make sure that you see all the videos that I post and not miss that. So anyway, keep playing Unmatched, and we'll see you around next time.